What is going on, cannabis community, friends, family, and everybody I know? Thank you so much for checking this video out. I wanted to put it together really quick. It's going to be pretty much unplanned. I really don't have any sort of structure for it. I just want to show you some stuff. And I've had a lot of messages, a lot of emails from friends asking where the heck I've been. It's been since around March or May that I completely went offline, didn't make any more cannabis content. Uploaded maybe a couple videos from some shows that I went to, but that's only because I could do that for my phone. For folks who did not know, somewhere in March, I'd say somewhere in the middle of the month, we were experiencing record rainfall out here in Denver, Colorado, more specifically in my area of Green Mountain, and our basement flooded. And I want to first off by say, when I say flooded, most people usually think a foot of standing water, water pouring in through the windows. No, that didn't happen. The water seeped in from underneath my home and then came in through the bottom of the floor and started seeping in, caused massive damage to a lot of things, mainly the floor, but also my computer equipment, some of my grow equipment, anything that might have been touching the floor where that water seeped up to was damaged in some way, if not completely lost. But thankfully and luckily, I have some amazing people like yourself, the cannabis community, my friends and my family that decided to make a GoFundMe for me and put it together and raised some decent money for me to get these things taken care of. And thank God, as you can see, I've got them taken care of. Now, one thing you might notice, it might not be that obvious to the untrained eye, but the color of the walls behind me before I painted them was this Houston Oilers powder love you blue. Couldn't stand it. But when we moved into the house, I wanted to get this podcast room up and running so quickly that I didn't even think to paint it. I didn't even think to paint it. Not to mention it was blue, one of my favorite colors, so it didn't anger me too much. But when I was able to get some things fixed in this house, thanks to you folks, I decided, you know what, I'm going to paint this podcast room exactly the color I want. So, as you can see, my favorite color scheme for the most part is blue and white and gray. You know where the colors come from. Don't act like you don't. That's fine. I'm not throwing that in your face. Just saying I needed a little bit of a fixer-upper to happen after all this. So I want to show you some videos and I want to show you some pictures real quick. Let's get into the photos because I think I have them lined up here in some specific ways. So all I'm going to do is kind of walk through some of these photos. Don't need to tell you where they are in my house. You just need to see them. So right here, that was one of the places, I believe that was in the laundry room after I pulled some stuff up. You can actually see water coming in, doing damage that had already done damage to parts of my wall. All kinds of nasty stuff coming in from the ground. It was really, really not cool. So this is my podcast room that we're in right now. And as you can see, the water was just coming up from underneath. As you notice, the water is not it's not on the walls. So the water had not come and seeped in through the walls. It came in through the floor. Let's see, we've got another one here. So this is pretty much what it started looking like when it started filling up. As it started raising up and going through, here we go. There's a nice, disgusting powder blue of the previous podcast room. But this is where I really saw it the most. As you can see, some of the areas, the water seeped in, actually got into my computer, things like that. And right here is post me and my wife and our good friend, sister-in-law, Carrie, came over and helped pull some carpet. So I did about 90% of this. And then my wife and Carrie didn't have to do it, but they came one of the last days and helped me pull the rest of this stuff up. So underneath the carpet was sopping wet carpet padding. That's kind of how things go. And so after I pulled all the carpet up, you can see it's all the stuff you see on the floor is all the epoxy from before. The house we moved into was very much done by yourself, meaning the people that were here before did all these fixes to it that weren't really fixes. They were just Band-Aids. So here is all of the carpet that we pulled out from the over 1,000 square foot basement. That was absolutely insane. Much love to the Box Brothers out here in Lakewood, Colorado for coming and picking it up. Those folks have done some amazing things for me. And whew, when we bought this house, I was dying for a basement. I wanted a basement so bad, and I got a basement. This is what folks around me are telling me. They say, well, you wanted your basement? This is what you got. And when I started speaking to my neighbors about all this stuff, they were like, hey, happens to me too. It happened 5 times in my life. And they all took it as if it was like no big deal. Meanwhile, I'm thinking my entire life is being turned upside down. When in fact it kind of was, because I wasn't able to get to you folks and make any content. I couldn't make any good chemistry content, which is killing me. Shout out to those folks for standing by my side through all this and not kind of like letting me go because I wasn't on promoting anything. But the folks at Good Chem are still going to provide me with some amazing cannabis to get the strain spotlights out. But I really, really wanted to show you some of the videos. So I believe the video I'm popping up right now is the before. So as this was happening, I came downstairs to walk. I apologize if it's sketchy right now. It looks like the connection's a little weird, but this is what happened. This is what the floor looked like underneath after I pulled all of the carpet up. You can see anything that was on the walls, I kind of pulled off the walls and stuff like that. And I know I'm narrating this video, but I chose not to use that narration because I'd like to use what I'm talking right now. But right here is the concentration of where the water was. And the reason why you're seeing my sofa back in here, my TV back in here, because damn it, I didn't want my life turned upside down to the point where I couldn't go downstairs and play video games, play my drums, watch and listen to that surround sound. It was starting to really get at me. So I brought a lot of it back there. And we're heading into the podcast room with the nice, disgusting light blue coloring on it, as you can see. And, a lot of things needed to be done in this room, and I put them off. So the crazy thing about the fact that we had a flood damage our home was that it forced me to make some changes I had been wanting to make anyway, i.e. taking the carpet out anyway. The carpet, as I was pulling it out, I smelled cigarettes. I smelled pet urine. I smelled so much stuff that was not really, really ready or wasn't activated in the air until I started having to pull it up. So not only did I pull up all that carpet, pull the padding, I took all the tacks out of there too. And I just wanted all of that out there. I was out of the house. Me and my wife and I were born in Miami, Florida. We are we were hammered with mold, mildew, the damage it could do to your health. So I wanted to make sure that was the one thing that we could avoid right away. If I waited 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get that carpet up, not only would it really have risen the relative humidity in my house, which already made some of my doors and door jambs swell because of the flooding we had, I just didn't want to have any of that happen. So I ripped all that carpet out as fast as possible. Fast forward to a month ago. So let's see, March, April. I'd say about 4 or 5 months. Yeah, I can't believe it went that long. 5 months I was without doing any strain spotlights, no communication with you folks, no Casually Serious podcast with my brother Ken, man. I wasn't doing anything, and it was driving me crazy. So that the GoFundMe that was put up for us was a godsend because it made this happen, which I just couldn't possibly be happier because of. As you can see, nice carpeting, nice gray carpeting. I wanted to put something in there that was light and a little bit of dark, but as you can see, it makes everything so much better. Everything is put together better. Oh, here we go. We're back in the podcast room that is now put together with a couple extra creepy masks added to the whole entire situation. Thankfully, I was still able to keep up with my collection and things like that, but the podcast room came out absolutely beautiful. I can't possibly be, we are just so humble and thankful for all the folks that helped us out. And I know a lot of folks, when they help other people out, they want to remain anonymous. So I'm going to go through the names of the people that helped me out, but I'm only using first names. So it's going to be pretty hard for you folks to figure out who helped me out, but it will help you guys figure out who didn't help us out. I'm just kidding. Look, I was totally joking there. Not all of us have the ability to help out. We all are probably drowning in our own bills and our own debts and things like that. But the folks that could help helped. And it really, really made me say to myself, the next time something like this happens, even if I can't really immediately find some funds for somebody, I'm going to give them $10. I'm going to give them $20 if they need it. That is what happened with me. And believe me when I tell you, all of that added up immensely. So thank you so much to Brian, to Douglas, to Barry, to Alexandria, to Mary, to Leslie, to Richard, to Todd, to Tamara, to Ken, to Michael, to Brandy, to Terry, to Brian, to Andy, to Josh, to Sarah, to Victor, to Lois, Z, and JoJo, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. I am definitely a cynical guy, and those that know me know that I tend to hope for the best but expect the worst. And when this whole thing happened, we were pretty bummed about it, and we didn't know what we were going to do. Owning a new home presents a lot of monetary challenges, but when things start going wrong, it gets a little bit harder. So if it had not been for you folks, I would not be able to be sitting in this redone podcast room right now saying thank you to you, ready to make some more strain spotlights, ready to put some more cannabis content out there, ready to make all the people who have subscribed feel like it's been worthwhile to subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much. I want to also say this. I just saw Cypress Hill with the the Colorado Symphony Orchestra. It didn't travel to London. And that show absolutely blew me away. I was front row center at the Mission Ballroom here in Denver for it. I didn't know what to expect. All I knew was the 30th anniversary of Black Sunday from Cypress Hill, and they had the orchestra behind them. So I recorded, as I do for almost every show, about 4 videos. And one of those videos garnered 22,000 views, as well as give me about 100 new subscribers. So man, while I'm out here not producing any videos, not putting anything out, I'm still gaining subscribers based on the stuff that I already have on my channel. And that is massively humbling. That means that you folks are actually appreciative of what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is just trying to educate and help you folks out on the cannabis side of this channel that I have. The musical side is self-explanatory. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you move on and try and find something else. But I'm about helping folks out because I've had nothing but great people help me get to the point where I am right now, i.e. West Coast Cowboy, BG, a lot of the folks that have motivated me to do what I'm doing right now. But the folks that helped me monetarily with this situation that we just had, I am absolutely in your debt. I am humbled. Thank you so much for that, because now I'm able to actually get back in the lab right now and do what I need to do. So like I said, I spoke to Good Chemistry. I'm going to get back to getting some cannabis every month so that I can review it for you folks. It's going to be amazing. But thank you all so much for making this happen, because if I don't have this outlet, I get a little nutty. I also have some really, really good news, because while my grow room was kind of messed up in the whole ordeal, it wasn't destroyed. So I was able to get some really, really good news out of this. And I'm going to start putting some footage together for you, because I was finally able to grow my favorite strain, my pre-98 Bubba Kush. And I have it in the grow room right now. And it's probably about 3 weeks away from harvest and looking absolutely gorgeous, thanks to the new system I am using from Build a Soil. So folks, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it ran a little bit long, but I just wanted to show you some footage of what the house looked like before and after. And there's probably some people out there who are like, I'm going to blindly give Bob some cash. I don't really even know if this happened. Maybe he's lying about his basement getting flooded. So I guess I felt in some way, I felt an obligation to the folks who have actually helped and sent us money. I felt a bit of an obligation to show them what they actually invested in. So not only did you get to see exactly how disgusting that our basement was after that flood, but you get to see how renewed, rejuvenated, and beautiful it looks now, thanks to your help. So from the bottom of my heart, and I'm speaking for my wife as well, thank you so much for all the help. And as always, keep growing, folks. We'll see you soon.